flattered that they kept them.
Yeah, when I worked at the library, we had lockers. We had our own individual lockers, so we would do that too. We would print out random silly pictures and just like leave them on each other's lockers, and then we wouldn't say who they're from, and then people had to guess. So it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, like so much of what we do as adults is just more sophisticated, technologically advanced versions of like sending little strips of paper back and forth during class.
Yep.
Yeah, I told Ryan about the guy. Well, I think I might have shared it in a room publicly about the guy who blocked me. Did I tell you, Victoria, with the guy with the very expressive eyebrows?
No.
Okay, so this guy that I started talking to on Facebook, he hit every one of his pictures. His eyebrows were just like, or I guess one of them was just like super expressive and always arching in different ways, and like added a lot of character to his face. And so when I said, "You have very expressive eyebrows, by the way," and I said, "And I love that," at one point he goes, "Izzy, I told you, I got me two pairs." No, don't mind Isidore. She's really tired and she wants me to get her PJs for her, but I've gotten her two pairs that she doesn't like, so I told her now she has to go get them herself. But anyway, um, but this guy, so I told him you have very expressive eyebrows, by the way, and he goes, "Correction, eyebrow," and he goes, "I can't control my left eyebrow," and he was kind of like playing it up or whatever, and like it just does this and it does that, and so a couple days later I saw a meme that someone shared on Facebook, and it said, "Left eyebrow, drinks water, does yoga, goes to church," or something like that. Or no, it didn't say goes to church. It did something else productive. And then right eyebrow has a mind of its own, drinks soda, and eats junk food or something. It was just like a funny meme about the difference between the two eyebrows, and I sent it to him. And the next thing I know, I was blocked. Now I don't know if it was just a coincidence, or if like I triggered some like childhood trauma that he got made fun of for his eyebrows. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I think guessing that it was the eyebrow, especially if he already kind of joked about it, like it could have been something completely different, right? Like his girlfriend saw his messages, or, some other kind of ridiculous thing that you wouldn't have guessed, because that seems a bit weird.
Oh, sorry, I had to block you. My wife found my burner phone, and now I'm in trouble.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna have some dinner, so I'll be back a little bit later.
Ciao, enjoy.
Bye.
Kyle, are you there? Because oh, yeah, you muted out. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
It was just I saw you unmute and then I didn't hear anything and I thought, oh no, did he close the app and now he's just a ghost?
That can happen.
Hey, Victoria, the way you like describe your job, it sounds like something just straight out of Seinfeld. Like
Oh,
maybe that's Elaine's job or something.
oh yeah, it absolutely is. Like it's so ridiculous. Like I had no idea, even though I thought I was completely prepared, and the person who hired me, like we went through a lot during the interview process because she was like, okay, awful people phone. I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like I've dealt with lawyers, I've dealt with yacht club people, right? Like, but I haven't dealt with lonely, angry boomers, right? There's a certain combination, right? And there's I'll say that like all ages can be angry and from the news station, right? But yeah, it's quite weird. I had an email exchange with somebody today. This was funny. In Canada, we have the Parliament buildings, which is where our legislation happens. So we have Parliament Hill, which is like where everybody meets to do like Canada things, federal things. And then all of the provinces have a legislative assembly. And some of those buildings in which the legislative assembly meets are called legislative buildings, but a couple of provinces call them parliament buildings, and one calls it province house. So I don't know, right? Like, whatever. Don't know the history of why that's different, but this is where our politicians are. And so in BC, we have the parliament buildings in Victoria, where the legislative assembly meets. And someone complained that we were calling the legislative building Parliament. There's only one Parliament. They said it was in Ottawa, and they laid in. Like they sent a really nasty, like, you guys are the news, you should do better than this, you're idiots, it's really annoying. And I was like, nope, I don't think that's right. So I wrote back and I said, thanks for writing, I'm sorry you're annoyed, but you don't have to be. Good news. You don't have to be, because we're right. And then I gave her links, and I actually gave her the website to the Legislative Assembly site that the first sentence says the Parliament buildings are open to the public. So I thought, this is perfect. There can't be a better source. So I sent it to her, and she wrote back. She clearly didn't see the link or didn't click on it, and she wrote back and said, you're wrong. Get your facts, F-A-X, right. You need to do better. You know, exclamation, exclamation. And I thought, before I could get back to her, she wrote again saying, this is embarrassing for you. And then I wrote back and I said, thank you for the correspondence. Because I wasn't going to have this today. Usually I can ignore it, right? And I'm allowed to ignore people, which is nice. But anyway, so I wrote back and I said, thanks for the correspondence. I don't know that you saw the links that I provided, but here's another link that explains that the Legislative Assembly meets at buildings, some of which are called legislative buildings, some of which are called parliament buildings, and one that is called Province House. And I didn't hear back for hours. I thought I'd never hear back. And then she wrote back and said, well, that's not what I learned, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, oh my God, right? And I had decided I wasn't going to write back. And then about 2 minutes later, she wrote back